Hi there, and today I'm going to tell you about and make a start on my next big project, which has got a lot to do with this little guy and his space buggy. Now this is set 886, and yes, it's only got 3 digits in its set number, which means it's really old. It came out in 1979, and the set was called Space Buggy, and this was this was my first ever classic Lego space set that I got. I had several of these, and I really liked them. I thought they were quite cool. And for my next project, what I've decided to do is make an upscaled version of this set. Now recently, Lego have made several upscaled minifigure sets, and most people will probably be familiar with the first one, which was set 76393, Harry Potter and Hermione Granger from 2021. And with my love for all things minifig, it's a set that I bought as soon as it came out, but I haven't actually opened and built yet. Then 2 years later in 2023, Lego released 40649, which was simply called Upscaled or Scaled Up Lego Minifigure. And this set had the added feature of including the actual minifigure that it was based on, and also a feature where you could open the guy's hat, and you could sit the regular scaled minifigure inside as if he was controlling the minifigure's movements. And this is also a set which I bought as soon as it came out, but I haven't actually got round to opening it up and building it. And then in the same year, 2023, slightly lesser known was set 40504, and that was called a minifigure tribute. And that set contained an upscaled version of Captain Redbeard, who was the pirate captain from the Pirates theme back in the late 80s and early 90s. Now, even though this set was exclusive to being bought at the Lego house in Denmark, I managed to get a copy of it a few years ago, but again, it's a set I still haven't opened or built. But most people don't know that Lego actually made their first upscaled minifigure way back in the year 2000. And this was simply called Lego Minifigure, and it was set 3723, and it was in the Advanced Models theme. As with the others, this is a set which I bought way back in 2000 as soon as it came out, but this time it's a set I've actually built. Unfortunately, it's a set which, since we've moved house, has been in storage. But now on the 1st of March 2025, Lego are bringing out another upscaled minifigure, and that is set 40819 Racing Driver. Now this is based on an Octan Racing Driver minifig, and he's wearing an upscaled classic space helmet. That gave me the idea firstly of making an upscaled classic spaceman, but as this is something that quite a lot of people have done, I thought why not make an upscaled version of the first Lego space set I actually owned. And that brings us nicely back to set 886 Space Buggy. Now, I go to quite a lot of Lego shows around the south coast, and I love buying bargains there and seeing other people's builds, but I thought if I could make an upscaled space buggy, it might be something nice to take along to these shows and show myself. So the first thing to do is to work out what parts I'm going to need and how big this is going to be. Now, thankfully, my first classic Lego space set was a very small one, and it was only made up of these 11 parts. There were 9 pieces for the buggy itself, so there were these 2 wheel sets, a 2x2 45-degree slope, a 2x4 plate, a 2x6 plate, an antenna piece, some spare air tanks to go on the front of the buggy, a 1x2 jumper plate, and a steering wheel. And then the last 2 pieces made up the astronaut's blaster or ray gun or whatever you wanted it to be. Now, I've done a little bit of research, and generally the accepted scale of these upscaled minifigures is 1:6. So therefore, every 1x1 will end up being 6x6. So this will turn into something this size. But as scale goes in all directions, it also means that a 1x1 plate needs to be 6 plates thick. So just to show you how many parts I'm going to need for this project, a 1x1 plate this size is going to need this many pieces. So I'm going to quickly throw together a 1x1 and show you what it's going to look like. So first of all, we need to make it a lot thicker. So we're going to run a row of plates around the outside. Oopsie, like this. So there's a row of 1x1 plates round, and then we're going to add a row of bricks too. Like that, and we know a plate is a brick is 3 plates high, so we've got 3, 4, 5. We need another one on top to make it 6 plates high. I'm going to do that with tiles. We give it a nice smooth surface. So we've got some 2x4s. Now I'm going to put this 2x2 plate in the middle. So we've got our basic plate, but obviously we need that stud on top. And for that, we're going to use these handy 4x4 round bricks. I'm going to put one of those on top. I'm going to put a 2x2 round plate in the middle. And then handily, this gap in the middle is the same size as a 3x3 round tile. So we've popped that in there like so. And we've now got a 6x scale 1x1 plate. And since planning this, I've also found out that this is also the same scale as another lesser known Lego product. And these are soft bricks. Now these originally came out in 1998 under the Dacta theme and were used for educational purposes, and you could only buy it through a Lego education outlet. And back in the early 2000s I managed to find one of those, and I bought Soft Starter Set, which was set 9020 and had 84 of these soft bricks. And although I've never thought about it before, I've realised that these are also 6 times. So if you get our plate here, you can see that that perfectly fits on top. But unlike the soft bricks, if you hit someone on the head with this one, it's going to hurt. Whereas if you hit someone on the head with this one, it doesn't. It's nice and soft and it's squishy. So my first parts order has arrived, and today I'm going to build my first 2 parts. And they are the 2x4 plate and the 1x2 jumper. And this should be all the parts I need to make those first 2 pieces. So I'm going to sort them all out, and first going to start building the 2x4 plate. So on this one I'm going to have 2 layers of plates to give it a bit of strength, and then a layer of bricks around the underneath like I did on the 1x1, and then obviously build those studs on top. So first of all, 2x4 is 8, so we've got 8 of these 6x6, because obviously we're building at 1:6 scale. So we're going to put 4 there like that, and then another 4 underneath, and that is the size that our 2x4 plate is going to be, with our regular sized one in front. And then to give it a bit of strength, we're going to cover it with 4x4s. So a lot of pushing down of studs on this, and we're going to do a row like this. So that's our first row of 4x4s, and now I'm going to add 2 more. Now, obviously, because of the way the plate multiples go, we've got 2 separate pieces at the moment. So these are effectively the size of 2 2x2 plates. So we're going to join them together underneath with some bricks, and then give it some extra strength on top with some tiles. So if we flip them over, we're going to have a 1x8, a 1x6, and a 1x8 on that side. And then the same, actually, no, we're going to need to move that along one. Like that. And then flip it around, we're going to do the same on the other side. 1x8. 1x6 and 1x8, and then 2 1x6s down each side. One there and one there. And now we've got a much more stable 2x4 plate. And then so to cover the top and make it all nice and smooth, I've got a huge bag of 2x4 grey tiles. So for strength, like I said, down the middle we're going to add a row of the 2x4s to make sure those 2 plates are joined together nicely. And then that gives it a lot more strength. Then also we obviously have to leave space for those 2x2s to add the studs on top. So we're going to carry on adding a row across the top, like that, and then the same row across the bottom, and then some down the sides. Like that, and then we need to start leaving the gaps for the 2x2s. So each of the next rows just has one 2x4 on it, there and there, and then our studs are going to go here, and then fill in the gaps in between with even more 2x4s. So that's all the tiles. Now we just need to drop in the 2x2s. And our plate's nearly complete. So we've got our 8 4x4 round bricks, we've got our 8 2x2 round plates, and we've got our 8 3x3 round tiles. And if we put them all together, we've got our 8 Lego studs. And they just need to click on the top of our plate, making sure we get them the right way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, where's that going? There we go, 6, 7, and 8. And I've got my first piece complete. This is our 2x4 plate, ready to go underneath our upscaled space buggy. So moving on to our 1x2 jumper plate, and I need these 37 parts just to make that one piece. Obviously it doesn't have a regular stud on top, it has an open stud on top, and I'm using a round plate and some other tiles to reproduce that. Now, because this is a lot smaller than the 2x4, it doesn't need to be quite so strong. So instead of doing 2 complete layers of plates, I'm using the regular 6x6 as our base, and only just using a layer of plates around the outside. So what we're going to do is going to turn it over and add some bricks underneath to start with. Join them together in the middle with some 1x6s, and then fill the gaps with some 1x2s. So that's nice and easy. And then join that again together with some 1x6 plates and some 1x4 plates on the end. And like I thought, didn't need as much strength as the giant 2x4 plate, so that's a good basis. Now we just need to tile the surface. Now obviously with a jumper plate, unlike the other ones where we wanted 4 studs in the middle so we could attach the giant stud, we've actually got a hole in the middle, so we're going to start off by having a tile in the centre. But we need some way to attach this around it, so we're going to put some 1x2 plates around it, so we've got some attachment points like that. I did say we had 37 parts, it's actually 36 because I don't need one of the 1x2s. Not quite sure I've got an extra one in the order, but there you go. So we've got those, and then around them we're going to use these 2x2 right angle tiles like that, and then that gives us our circular connection points. Then just again fill in the gaps with our multitude of 2x4 tiles like that. And then obviously the open stud on a jumper isn't as high as a regular stud, so what we're going to do is add that 4x4 round plate with a hole in the middle. And then we're going to add some 2x2 quarter circle tiles, and there we've got our 1x2 jumper. And that's the start of my upscaled space buggy. Now obviously I don't need the 1x1, but I'm just going to keep that around for reference. It's quite fun to have. But we've got our 2x4 plate and our 1x2 jumper. And the next parts that I've planned out and ordered are the 2x2 45-degree slope and the antenna. So I've got parts of these on the way on orders already, and I've planned out in studio the 2x6 and also the air tanks. So that's this part and this part, meaning all I've got left to plan out are the 2 sets of wheels and the steering wheel. So as I plan out the various parts, I'm going to continue to place orders, and as those orders arrive, I'm going to make videos of building those certain parts, and then hopefully at the end we'll have a great video of putting them all together. And if I finish it in time and I've managed to find a show that'll let me display it, hopefully I'll be able to show this at some point in April. So let me know what you think about this idea in the comments below. Am I completely mad having to buy all these parts just to build one tiny space buggy in light grey? Or is the completed article something that you're going to be looking forward to seeing? If you've liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and of course definitely subscribe so you can follow along the progress of my upscaled space buggy in more LEGO videos.